So if you're a current client of mine, I might have mentioned that I am implementing this funnel into my company. This funnel isn't something that I created. It's something that Matt Larson created. He's a Canadian entrepreneur. He grew his agency from 0 to 900K a month in under 12 months. And I'm looking to adopt this into my company and looking to apply parts of it and add automation into my clients. So what I'm going to go walk you through today is just a high level overview of something that's very tactical of what would implementing this funnel look like in a real company. So, let's give a high level overview of what this funnel does. At the very top, you could almost think about this as your top of the funnel. You have your middle of the funnel in this section over here, and then you have your bottom of the funnel. Let's look into top of the funnel real quick. We have 4 main channels. We have paid ads, we have content, we have outreach, and then we have partnerships. Where I'm at with my company right now is I do the last 3. I have a little bit of content on YouTube, I do outreach, and then I have partnerships. And we could use tools like Instantly for outreach. For partnerships, we could scrape leads from databases using Clay, using Apollo, using Zoom Info. And for content, we could post videos on YouTube. We could post content on LinkedIn. And what happens after we have attention? Because this is ultimately what top of the funnel is supposed to do. Well, we want to nurture and convert that attention into people that know who we are and then like what we do. And the way that we're able to do this is through email flows or texting flows if you're texting your prospects. So what could we text them to get them bought in and to ultimately like us? Well, in this funnel, what Matt has here and what he laid out is we could sell digital products that aren't tens of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars, something that's typically under 100. We could provide affiliates. We could have an ongoing webinar, live workshops, active newsletters, a community, an appointment setter, which I'm currently doing right now, sharing exclusive content, or having any other type of unique mechanism to ultimately get them to like who we are and ultimately believe that we could help them. Next, what we do here is we want to see if they are qualified, and this is helpful when we have a setter or an inbound business development representative to see exactly if they have budget, if they have the authority to make a buying decision, if they have a need to move forward, and ultimately if they have a timeline of when they're looking to implement a change that they initially opted in for. So that's the middle of the funnel. The bottom of the funnel here is typically when prospects will go to our website, they'll consume case studies, they'll see additional free content, they'll see video testimonials of how we got people from where they were to ultimately where they wanted to go in the past, or we might have a video sales letter, which is simply a 4-5 minute video of us showing new prospects that don't know what we do and showing them the steps that they will have to overcome to improve the operations or improve their company. So once our prospects know who we are, what we do, they like us, they trust us, well, then the next step is that we could ultimately sell them. And what Matt proposes is selling them a one-time service, something that's typically not going to be $10,000 or $5,000, something that might be between $500 and $2,500. And then ultimately, once we perform on that service, we provide a great result, and that's when we could upsell them into a recurring service. So that's the overview of the funnel. Let's just say that, for example, someone is disqualified or they're not the best fit. The way that we're able to maximize the lead value is to refer them out. If we do have any referral partnerships, we could downsell a course, or we might even put them into a program if we have that set up. So this is the high level overview, but how do we actually implement this into a CRM? I'm in the process of changing and going from Airtable, which is essentially a glorified spreadsheet, which you can connect with different tools, which I did, and it's really helpful. However, it did have a few core components, which I'm looking to implement right now, which is texting leads, which is having email marketing go out before meetings, after meetings on a routine basis. And I really just didn't want to hack together 10 different tools. I thought that using a tool like Go High Level would be a much better option because I'm consolidating all of my tech into one platform. So let me walk you through how I'm currently architecting this CRM. So very first step that we'll go through together are the pipelines. So what's a pipeline? Well, typically if you have a sales pipeline, let's just say you sell digital marketing services like Facebook ads. Typically what a simple funnel will look like is someone will book a call with you, you'll meet them, you will sell them products or you won't. And then there are different stages that people will have to go through in order to buy. And what we're doing right now in the pipeline stages is just mapping those out. So there's more than just a sales funnel or a sales pipeline. For me right now, I'm building 3 out, which is a marketing pipeline where I'm tracking leads. There's a partnerships pipeline to see, hey, what type of partnerships can I establish in my company right now? And then there's the traditional sales funnel. So let's go into marketing. So high level, not reinventing anything, just duplicating everything from Matt over here. So paid ads, content, outreach, partnerships. And then what I do afterwards is I'm seeing exactly if the leads are engaged. And I have one bucket for leads that are engaged within the past 30 days. I then have another one where my inbound SDR on my team will qualify them, reaching out via email, seeing if they got the video that includes all the steps of our service, which also includes the price. And then once they see the video, once they want to meet with us, and then we book them, then we could consider the meeting booked. However, if people are not interested in that offer, we could then disqualify them. Or if they haven't showed engagement in the past 30 days, we could put them into a long-term nurture pipeline or stage in the pipeline. And then finally, we could put everyone else that unsubscribes into an unsubscribe pipeline stage. Cool. So what would be the partnerships channel? And then this is something that Matt Larson laid out. I'm not inventing anything here. I'm simply using his framework. Where for partnerships, you could either find white label partnerships to help with fulfillment. You could find referral partners, media partners, or joint venture partners. And then I just lay these all out. One thing I have here is there are probably going to be different ways of how to qualify these different types of partners that come in. And I didn't want to have 4 different types of pipelines, one for each subsection of a partner. So one white label partner, one media partner funnel, one JV partner funnel, one referral partner funnel. What I wanted to do is just see which ones are engaged, which ones have booked a meeting, which ones have no-showed, which ones are qualified, which ones have been disqualified, the ones that I'm in the proposal and negotiation stages with. And then finally, once I'm onboarding a partner and once they're active or inactive, and then finally, I'll have a long-term nurture pipeline stage. So that's the partnerships funnel. Going on to the last pipeline, what I have here, it's pretty straightforward. People will either meet with us, people will either miss the appointment. We will have the discovery call. We might have a demonstration call, a demo. We might be in the proposal or negotiation stages. We'll either disqualify the prospect, or we'll close on the prospect, or we'll lose the deal. Finally, we could also have long-term nurturing going on inside of our pipeline. And this is any lead that is between 30 and then 90 days. That would be considered a stale opportunity. Then finally, I also do have people that unsubscribe from us in this sales funnel as well. So that's the pipeline stages. We'll go through next is once we have that top of the funnel attention, what can we actually do to nurture them into like leads or into a marketing lead? Well, we'll go over to conversion mechanisms here. So first, we could have a team of setters or inbound business development reps where they will manually reach out to all the prospects and then see if they are qualified and ultimately want to book. We could also have forms. So imagine this. If someone signs up for a form and they get redirected afterwards to an exclusive piece of content, you will capture their email in exchange for redirecting them to exclusive content. We could also do the same type of thing for webinars, where we could sign someone up for a webinar in exchange to get their email. We could add them onto a newsletter. We're getting their email. We could sell them a low ticket product. And in the process, we're not only getting their email, but we're turning them into a customer. We could have an exclusive video sales letter, like a squeeze page, where sometimes when you might go on e-com websites, you will land on the website, then automatically you might have a pop-up that says, hey, collect 10% on your next order. We can do the same type of thing on our website, where we are squeezing them for their email. Of course, people have the option to click out of that box, so it doesn't feel iffy. Lastly, we could run live workshops in exchange for their email too. What are other types of assets that we could use? So we could have a mastermind, which I don't have. I don't have a course. I have referrals and I do have affiliates. However, I'm not really doing a lot of exchanging to get their emails. This is just a way that I'm using downsells. What are some other types of assets that we could use? So we have ways how to convert attention into emails or into leads through using these conversion mechanisms. And then finally, once we are marketing, we would also have our assets. So these would be marketing and then sales assets. And this is almost anything that you could plug into emails. While you're on a sales call, you could flip over your screen and show. These are items of value that we have created to ultimately help our prospect know who we are, know what we do, trust us, and so on and so forth. So we could have our website. And on our website, we have case studies, a video sales letter, a thank you page, potentially a low ticket offer funnel. So instead of someone going ahead with our service that costs thousands of dollars, we might have a product that might be $50, $100. After that, we might have a disqualification page where, let's just say that someone goes through a calendar form and they ultimately disqualify themselves because we have a few questions on that form. What we could do is, based on a set criteria, redirect them to a disqualification page that says, hey, do you know what? Appreciate you filling out this form. I curated some resources for you for where you're at right now in your business. Thought these might help. Hope you have a great day. So instead of them meeting with us, we'll ultimately try and provide them some additional value. We have our YouTube. We could create presentations, whether you want to create a Google Slides, whether you want to create a PowerPoint, a whimsical, a Miro board or Miro board, however you want to pronounce it. We could have our agreements. We could have pre-call email templates. We could have post-call email templates. And then we could also have an evergreen webinar. So those are some assets that we could create to help our prospects know who we are, like what we do, then ultimately trust us as they are inside of our funnel. So the longer a prospect typically stays in this funnel, the more touch points they have. And through those touch points, they'll be able to know for themselves if they want to work with us or not. So what's next? We have the same type of assets for partners. We'd have to slightly tweak it because our partners wouldn't necessarily be buying from us. Would they be working with us in a different way? So we'd have to tweak our current assets that are for marketing and sales for partners instead. What are some of the forms that we could use? Well, for marketing, I think we went over this before, but we could have workshops, we could have a VSL squeeze page form, we could have a newsletter, a webinar, we could also have a form for exclusive content, and then we could also have resources. Whether you want to host it in Gumroad or Google Drive, you could do that. You could also have a form for scheduling, a form for rescheduling, a form for opting out of newsletters if you have that, and then also for partnerships, you could also have the same type of call scheduling or call it rescheduling form. So that's what I have on my own end for external forms. When we are looking at calendars, this is something that's also pretty helpful. We could have 4 main different types of calls. I don't think a company needs to have 50 different types of calls. Typically, the way I'm breaking it down in my company is we have discovery calls, which I like to call intro calls. We have reconnect calls, which could be typically any call, if it's a larger deal and it's between the introductory call, like the discovery call, and the final call, which I like to call the next steps call, I just have any calls in between as a reconnect call. So let's just say, for example, there are 4 calls. First call, number 1, would be a discovery call. The 4th call, which is the final call, would be the next steps or closing call. And then anything in between these 2 would be a reconnect call. That's how I run it for myself. And then I also do have a partnerships call, which is a different calendar event. Again, I don't have 50 different types of calendars. As the team grows, maybe I'll have to have that, but for now I'm keeping it as simple as possible. And then the reason why you have different calendar events is because based on whenever a calendar is booked, you could automatically put prospects into different sequences, like different automations. So if they have a next steps email, you could foreshadow that you're looking forward to working with them and ironing out any last wrinkles before you guys are working together. If it's a discovery call, you could simply put them into an automation saying, hey, I'm looking forward to connecting with you, putting a name to a face, and going from there. So those are the 4 types of calendars that we could use specifically in this section of the funnel. So Matt Larson's funnel, our calendars would be right over here. Cool. Now let's go back to the Google Doc. In terms of team size, this is something that I think that this funnel could go high level, could support the following, where you could have one person who's responsible for revenue operations, so building automations, creating reports. You could have an owner of the CRM, like CEO, CRO, whatever, however you want it. You could have multiple setters, so setter 1, setter 2, setter 3. You could also have multiple closers. You could have someone that's responsible for partnerships, and then you could also have a sales manager as well. And then finally a CRM admin, and then a marketing manager who might be, marketing manager might be on Facebook ads, or they might be creating more copy. And then the CRM admin is making sure that all of the rest of the team is using their CRM effectively. And the reason why that this is important is because I was thinking about an analogy like this recently, where a lot of companies treat their CRM like it's a shed where you might go into it once or twice a week. But at the end of the day, our CRM is fueling our growth. So we want to treat it more like a fridge, like a kitchen, something that you want to keep clean and tidy. And we're ingesting all of that data day in and day out in our company automatically oftentimes. So if we treat our CRM more like a fridge, less like a shed where we just throw things in there, I think that it'll unlock a lot of revenue. And it's not me saying it, it's Matt saying it. Cool. So what else do we have here? We do have a few other sections, but I wanted to keep this short. If you want me to go through any additional parts of the CRM that I'm building right now, feel free to let me know. I'm rolling this out for myself. I'm rolling this out for clients that work with me. And yeah, thanks for watching. Would love for you to subscribe. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to comment. I'll see you on the next video. Have a good one. Bye.